r/AskReddit, how is the declining life expectancy of people in the USA, with all the continuing advances in medicine, not a huge debate topic? Because there's a big market for things that decrease our life expectancy. It's because we know the causes. Opiate addiction, obesity/type 2 diabetes, and COVID. This country eats like absolute shit, it's crazy. With all the continuing advances in medicine, the things that make the biggest difference to overall life expectancy have been known for a long time, and these aren't the expensive technologies and latest advancements. A lot of people not doing them or even doing contrary to what is advised has a lot to do with the adverse results. The US is one of the most overworked countries in the world. The stress of keeping a job, qualifying for a mortgage, staying out of medical debt, student loan debt, being a caregiver of some capacity, saving for retirement, raising children is absolutely ridiculous. Most people have two incomes just to maintain their bills. As a millennial, like 25% of my graduating class from high school is no longer with us because of the OPI epidemic. It's a normal part of being someone my age, just losing 18 to 35-year-olds daily. Good question, there should be a discussion, but mostly, it's people killing themselves with addiction in some way or another. It is a lot of separate conversations because deaths occur on a case-by-case basis. Workaholic, alcoholic, drug users, spoons/forks, no exercise. Declining life expectancy plus raising childbirth mortality for mothers and babies. Other countries talk about it. Medical advances is not equal to healthy lifestyle choices, because it is largely confined by social class. If you are in the top 10 to 15% of income earners in the USA, you are doing better than ever. The deaths of despair that are lowering overall life expectancy are mostly an ill of the working class and poor. Similarly, if you're at the top of the income ladder, you are likely living in safer neighborhoods, eating better food, have more time for exercise, and have constant access to health care. Remember that this top 10% is the lawyers, the doctors, the MPHs, the software engineers, the folks with more relative pull over the culture and politics. Over time, as the social classes, poor, working class, 10%, and uber wealthy, 1%, have solidified and the barriers between classes have become stronger, if it doesn't affect the 1% or their servants, 10%, then it doesn't really exist politically. Cause the people who are dying earlier are poor, and Americans hate poor people, even if they are poor themselves. What's your solution? Universal health care and government regulation, which every other developed country does, hence longer lives. That's socialism. Americans would literally rather die. https://www. Macro trends. net/countries/USA/United States/life expectancy #text equals United %20 nations %20 projections %20 are %20 also a %200. 0.8% 25% 20 increase %20 from %202021. I don't see any decline. You can change the dates from 2018 to 2024 too. That involves having to help the less fortunate, and to some that's an immediate label of communism. Because the big decline in recent years has happened because of COVID, and people are burned out on talking about COVID. Even the people who would normally want to talk about it more for political reasons, are the people who want to pretend COVID wasn't a big deal. People feel powerless and don't really know where to begin. They're right about being powerless, and even if they were to just start, they'd be beaten by the system. The house always wins, it's a meat grinder, as long as some humans survive, most people don't matter. It really should be why the US is so low compared to so many other nations. We are, I think, ranked around 45th in the world. If we don't give a crap about little kids being gunned down in the regular, we certainly don't care about adult life expectancy. One side of the debate wants to encourage people to eat healthier and the other blames it on vaccines. Not a lot of ground for compromise. Obesity is the biggest cause, but the body positive movement acts like it isn't. Is it actually decreasing? Please don't send me to karma hell for being wrong, if I am. Last time I checked, the overall long-term trend is up. The levels of healthcare innovation happening in the US are astonishingly high. If there is any decrease in life expectancy, surely it is only a very localized blip, in the grand scheme of things. Because COVID killed a lot of people. It's better for Social Security and Medicare solvency if people live shorter lives. Declining life expectancy is a problem that's not really a problem, so the government isn't pressured to fix it. Half of America follows a death cult led by a TV clown. It's an average. In the other, richer parts of the country, life expectancy is increasing. American medicine doesn't heal, it masks symptoms. It's all a scam. It is. It's mainly down to the normalization of obesity and worsening diet in general. Because the secret is number one in innovation and last fucking place in actual care. The US provides some of the shittiest care for profit in the fucking world. We as a country are a bunch of fucking failures in regards to medical care while being tortured by pharmaceutical infomercials. Did I say fuck enough? Boomers would rather die early than have single-payer healthcare. It's the toxic processed food. Nobody wants to do anything about it. There is lots of discussion, but mostly amongst people who care about inequality. So it's mostly something that people who hate socialized healthcare ignore. Also, most of the decline was due to COVID, and now it's going back up again. The real issue is not overall life expectancy decline, but inequality in access to health care. https://www.health. Harvard. edu/blog/why life expectancy in the US is falling 202210202835. Any statistic that covers that many people is pretty meaningless on an individual level. Because it's only poor people dying younger and the American public has been manipulated to believe they are not one of the poor when they are. Americans think bad things only happen to other people, while thinking they will end up like Donald Trump. It's the American dream. There's too much money to be made by sweeping it under the rug, and all our media outlets and politicians are basically bought out by those profiting from a decreased life expectancy. Because it's apparently more important to talk about Hunter Biden and his junk. A lot of good people are just exhausted. COVID has been a flashpoint for 4 years now. No matter how many people still die from the initial COVID infection, long COVID syndrome, or post-COVID infections, some people cling to misinformation like it's their religion, and those of us who have been trying to counter misinformation are just tired of wasting our time. I want to leave. Every time I say that I get attacked. But between the mass shootings, crime in general, women going to jail for abortions, the chemicals in the food, the RX getting pushed on you, the failed war on drugs, politicians removing history that offends white men, horrific cost of healthcare, the middle class becoming the working poor for the uber rich, increase racism, I am over it. But again, as soon as I say it, I get a whole bunch of angry men telling me to get out, or I don't know how good I have it. I've been to other countries and all were better than the US. People get so offended when you criticize the US. Yeah, there are great things about it, but this country is self-destructive and it will implode. Economically, it would be better if everyone died from working themselves to death. Morally, oh sorry, that will hurt the profit margin. This is an unspoken subtext of every mega discussion. Life expectancies for a subset of Americans are, in fact, rising. Middle class and up, educated people are living longer. The wealthiest are living particularly longer. We non-megatypes have offered various solutions over the past several decades, but megatypes have rejected these solutions as socialism. Now that megatypes have lost sight of the original goal, and a handful of ultra-rich people have stoked their base instinct to scapegoat, they want to shorten our lives, too. Misery loves company. Hard to get upset about death when life sucks so much. Poverty, low education, and poor diet are all causes of habits that lead to death. BC, we're all just ready to die. What? https://www. Macro trends. net/countries/USA/United States/life expectancy #text equals the %20 current %20 life %20 expectancy %24 200 08% 25% 20 increase %20 from %202021. Why you ask about USA only? It happens everywhere: China, Europe, Russia. Because the US hasn't had a decline in life expectancy. Probably why it's not a huge topic. What is worth sticking around? Because a lot of things suck and they're looking forward to not living through it as long. I'm getting rather tired of once-in-a-lifetime catastrophic events. Where are you getting this garbage from? Life expectancy for those living to over 100 years old is expected to quadruple in the US over the next 30 years. Life so hard we tryna die sooner. Who wants to live longer in the US?/S. A lot of the subjects relating to it very much are. The declining life expectancy itself isn't as important as the factors that lead to it, IMO. How do you debate anti-vaxxers AMD other than ears? Because it's for the rich. Yeah, no, the people who actually get politicians elected. Because I plan to upload myself into a computer, so it's fine. Everyone can calm down now. It's different state to state, and even county to county. Overlay poverty rates, crime rates, or other differences due to economic class and it mirrors life expectancy variances. Because people are so obsessed with nonsensical, non-realistic issues that all the real problems are overshadowed. Because people in the US don't care about our elderly. Once they are retired, they are forgotten about. Yet all the studies show decreases in 2020 through 2022 and they all cite COVID as the primary reason. I did hear the other day that there's been a slight correction in 2023. I think you're forgetting there's a ton of unreasonable/ignorant people out there. I'm definitely not in the market for saving the dumb. It's not even in my best interest nor anyone else's. Because the people doing the debating are all bankrolled by the people who profit from us being sick and needing a dump truck of medicine. Because we know the drivers, so no debate to be had. 1. Obesity. 2. Opioids. This is significant as those folks die young, having an outpaced effect of average survival. 3. COVID. Yet, it hasn't caused people to get more vaccines for COVID or any of the other respiratory illnesses that particularly affect the elderly like pneumonia and RSV. We're doing nothing to address obesity, and nothing to address the opioid crisis. Woman shrugging. It's not a debate topic because the baseline points are quite simple and one-sided. Misinformation or lack of proper information will always mean that most US citizens will be uneducated to the benefits of newly innovated medicine. Breakthroughs in medicine become pointless if it's close to impossible to afford it, and big numbers on big bills strike big fear in people. So if anything, medicine almost has a counter effect on the population. Another reason could definitely be due to the number of ways you can get yourself killed easily keep rising relative to the ways you can heal. With harder, more lethal drugs entering the markets and crowding the streets, it's safe to say not a lot of medical advances can cure an overdose in time. Another thing to think about is that advances in medicine only suggest cures to a problem, rarely is it ever prevention. Government restrictions and heavy laws on things like drug abuse would have a greater impact on increasing the life expectancy of US citizens than any medical advance. Simply making it inaccessible for the youth to obtain life-threatening drugs could instantly statistics. This could be carried out by either increased police intervention on the streets or a proper source of information to the public on just how deadly drugs like fentanyl are. Keep in mind, none of these prevention measures are a product of advances in medicine. People tend to forget that although advances in science and medicine are becoming more often, the rate at which newer drugs and diseases seem to rise faster. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.